30,000 years ago, during the freezing height of the last ice age, two apex predators ruled the frozen plains of Europe and Asia. On one side, you had Homo sapiens, skinny, hairless, weapon-wielding apes who survived purely on stubbornness, fire, and sharp sticks. On the other side, you had the gray wolf, a 100-pound, pack-hunting killing machine designed by nature to tear down giant mammoths and outrun ice storms. If you asked anyone back then which of these two beasts would end up wearing a tiny hand-knitted sweater and sleeping on a memory foam pillow in a climate-controlled apartment, nobody would have bet on the wolf. And yet, here we are. Every single year, humans spend over $100 billion purchasing gourmet beef-flavored kibble, squeaky rubber ducks, and little booties so our modern wolves don't get their paws cold on the sidewalk. How did a terrifying wild predator pull off the longest, most successful scam in human history? Well, sit back, grab a piece of jerky, and let's look at how wolves didn't get conquered by humans. They trick-or-treated their way into our families. To understand how this started, we have to throw away the myth you usually hear in school. You've probably heard the classic story. A brave, heroic caveman finds an orphan wolf pup in a den, brings it back to the village, raises it, and voila, instant best friend. Except, that's almost certainly not how it happened. Raising a wild wolf pup in a hunter-gatherer tribe is a nightmare. Wild wolf pups grow up fast, their wild instincts kick in around 6 months, and they don't naturally see humans as leaders. An aggressive, frightened adolescent wolf in a small camp with toddlers and scarce food isn't a companion. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So, how did it actually start? It started with trash. During the Ice Age, hunting giant megafauna took massive energy. Humans would haul back mammoth carcasses, eat the best meat, and discard the heavy, marrow-filled bones, tough tendons, and fat scraps in waste piles outside their camps. For a wild wolf, hunting was dangerous. One wrong kick from a bison meant a broken jaw and a slow death by starvation. But a human campsite? That was a free, non-moving buffet that smelled like dinner every single night. Most wolves were terrified of humans. And for good reason. Humans had spears and fire. But a few rare wolves had a specific genetic mutation, lower adrenaline and lower stress responses. While the aggressive, paranoid wolves ran away at the sight of fire, the slightly calmer, bolder wolves stayed back and got a free meal. Scientists call this process self-domestication. Humans didn't set out with a master plan to tame wolves. Wolves tamed themselves to exploit human laziness. Over generations, the wolves that were less fearful of humans ate better, survived harsh winters more consistently, and passed their friendly genes down to their pups. And something incredible happened along the way. When you breed animals for friendliness and lower adrenaline, their physical bodies change automatically. This is known as domestication syndrome. As stress hormones dropped, these proto-dogs began losing their aggressive wild features. Their ears lost their rigid structure and flopped over. Their snouts grew shorter. Their fur started developing spotted, piebald patches instead of solid camouflage gray. And most importantly, they started wagging their tails to signal non-aggression. To an Ice Age human, an aggressive wolf sneaking around camp was an enemy to be speared. But a smaller, floppier-eared animal that wagged its tail and barked when danger was near, that wasn't a pest anymore. That was an early warning alarm system. Once humans realized these proto-dogs could bark whenever dangerous predators, like cave lions or rival tribes, approached the camp at night, the partnership took off like wildfire. Humans provided protection and leftover protein. Dogs provided 360-degree security and superpowered noses. Before long, hunter-gatherers took these early dogs on hunts. And this was a game-changer for human survival. Humans are endurance runners with incredible vision, but our sense of smell is terrible. Dogs can track a wounded animal through miles of deep snow using scent alone. Once they tracked the prey, the dogs would surround it, bark incessantly, and hold it in place. Then, the humans would walk up and finish the job with spears. It was the ultimate evolutionary tag team. The dogs provided the nose and the speed. The humans provided the firepower and the brains. Archaeological evidence shows that hunter-gatherer tribes with dogs were significantly more successful at securing meat than tribes without them. During the brutally cold Ice Age winters, having a dog pack wasn't just nice, it was often the difference between living to see spring or freezing to death. Now, fast forward a few thousand years. Humans and dogs are living together, eating together, and hunting together. But dogs pulled off one final ultimate evolutionary trick, one that locked humans into their control forever. They evolved the puppy dog eyes muscle. Anatomy studies have shown that modern dogs possess a small, specialized muscle around their eyes called the levator anguli oculi medialis. Wild wolves do not have this muscle. When a dog raises its inner eyebrows like this, it makes its eyes look larger, rounder, and remarkably similar to a human baby in distress. When humans look at a baby, our brains release a massive dose of oxytocin, the exact same bonding hormone released between a mother and her newborn infant. When dogs evolved this eyebrow twitch, it hijacked the exact same neurochemical pathway in human brains. When your dog looks up at you while you're eating bacon and gives you the look, your brain isn't responding to a wild animal. It thinks it's looking at a helpless human child. You aren't just sharing your food because you're nice. You're being biologically hacked by an animal that mastered human psychology over 30,000 years. So who really tamed who? 30,000 years ago, wolves made a calculated trade. They gave up absolute freedom in the wild, and in exchange, they gained complete access to human shelter, protection, affection, and food security forever. Today, while wild wolves struggle for territory, their domestic cousins enjoy spa days, organic treats, and unconditional love from millions of devoted human servants. Not bad for a former monster, right? If you enjoyed this look into how human survival and animal evolution collided, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling me about your own domestic predator. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.